Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City Council Chambers of the City of Virginia. This is a regularly scheduled City Council meeting. I will call this meeting order. Today's date is Tuesday, April 26th, 2022. The time is 5:30 p.m. Welcome to all of you who are listening at home and those of you who are in the audience this evening. Pam, would you please take the roll call?
Baraboo,
Present.
Friedlieb,
Present.
Paulson,
Present.
Beyondich,
Present.
Johnson,
Here.
Karen Sally,
Here.
Huffy.
Present. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We have 3.1 on the agenda. That's going to be, that's been taken off the agenda, and it'll be announcement from the Chief of Police will come at a later date. She asked this be removed for the time being. So move to item 4, which is the public forum. This is an opportunity for the citizen or someone from Virginia or anyone in the audience that would like to get up and speak on behalf of themselves and ask any questions or make any presentations they like. So at this time, is there anyone that in the audience that would like to come up and speak before the council meeting tonight? Please come forward. Thank you. And turn on the green light, if you would, please. And please state your name for the record, and welcome to the City Council meeting this evening.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Laura Summers Bachschneider. I'm a lifelong Virginia resident. I appreciate the opportunity to take this moment to thank the mayor and the council for serving the citizens of Virginia. Yours is often a thankless job that is met with criticism, scrutiny, and pushback. You have an important role, and when it's not done well, it can and will lead to a city with financial problems, personnel issues, and a host of other unintended consequences. Virginia is a small community with many engaged citizens who are watching these meetings, reading the minutes, and talking about decisions being made. I would encourage all of you to ask the questions and verify the answers you're being given. If you don't understand the issues, please seek out the knowledge you need prior to casting your vote. The decisions you make will have long-lasting effects on the employees and the taxpayers of Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bachschneider. Okay, thank you. Anyone else that'd like to address the council this evening? Seeing and hearing none, we will move to item 5 on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. The following items will be enacted by one motion unless a councilor or a citizen of the City of Virginia requests that the item be considered separately. Item 5.1 is the approval and corrections of the minutes under 5.1A of the regular meeting that was held on April 12, 2022, and the special meeting that was held on April 18, 2022. Item 5.2 is the adoption of Finance Resolution Number 22-008, the Schedule of Bills. Item 5.3 is approve the exempt permit for the Holy Spirit Church to conduct a raffle on June 5th, 2022 at the Holy Spirit Church. Item 5.4 is approve the following travel requests. Item 5.41, the Police Department, Officer Ryan Maloney and Officer Henry Trunk to attend the Warrant Writing Basics, June 3rd, 2022 in Duluth at a cost of $268 each. 5.41B, Ryan Malone to attend the Law Enforcement Licensed Refresher Emergency Vehicle Operation course, July 13th, 2022 in St. Cloud at a cost of $455. Item 5.42, Park and Recreations, Wesley LaValle to attend the Boilers License class, May 3rd through the 4th, 2022 in Pine City, Minnesota at a cost of $739. And item 5.5, approve the one-day temporary liquor license for the Lyric Center for May 26, 2022. These are the consent agenda items this evening, and we're looking for council action. Councilor Beyondich.
I would like to pull 5.2.
Okay, very good, thank you. Councilor Beyondich has requested pull for further discussion, item 5.2 on the agenda, which is the adoption of finance resolution number 22-008, the schedule of bills. Looking for a motion or council action on 5.1, 5.3, 5.4, and 5.5.
I'll move the consent agenda minus 5.2.
Councilor
I'll
Paulson
support.
moves. Pardon?
I'll support.
Moved by Councilor Paulson and supported by Councilor Baraboo. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Back to item 5.2, the adoption of finance resolution number 22-008, the schedule of bills. Councilor Beyondich.
Thank you. And I just pulled a few things that jumped out at me that I haven't seen on here before, and I don't know, Sherry, if you can answer, or maybe Brian, because they pertain to the event center. So there's Encore Event and Party Express for $12,291.75. Page 16.
Yes, Encore Event and Party Express is a company that we rented pipe and drape from the SME conference.
Okay.
That was a pass-along cost to SME.
Okay, thank you. God's Country Ice.
That was ice for the concert on the 15th.
Do we have an ice machine? Do we make our
Yes,
own
but
ice?
it could not produce 4 pallets worth of ice that was needed for that concert.
Okay, and the last one was, this one kind of shocked me. $10,625.75 for concession stands for, I'm assuming that is from Viking Coca-Cola?
Yes. Towards the end of hockey season, we intentionally let our supply of Coke products go down so that we were not having a reserve of a lot of bottles with expiration dates that would be drawing close to us. Our contract, as we hosted the SME conference, was they were requesting not only coffee service from us, but also to have pop provided throughout the venue that they were purchasing from us. And we had the concert that Friday night, so rather than going with the philosophy that we'll just order and stock what we normally have, knowing what SME was telling us, they wanted us to be providing drinks for 800 people per day for the 3 days and then having the concert, we intentionally over-ordered on everything, thus resulting in the $10,000 charge. Now, the SME charge, our charge to SME for coffee and pop was $5,200. Today, Coca-Cola picked up the extras from us. We had a credit from Coca-Cola today of $4,953, and the night of the concert, we sold about $900 worth of pop alone, and we are now currently fully stocked with all of our Coke products as we are entering the bump and skate party season.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Councilor Beyondich, and thank you, Brian, for clarifying those 3 items for the council and the rest of the community, and particularly Councilor Beyondich. So if there is no other questions on the finance resolution number 22-008, the schedule of bills, I look for a motion to adopt. Moved by Councilor Freely. Is there support? Support by Councilor Johnson to adopt finance resolution number 22-008, the schedule of bills. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Move to item 6, appearances. We have no one scheduled to appear before the council this evening. Once again, would be an opportunity that we would provide for anyone from the audience that could come forward and speak and address the council on any matter that's of importance to them? Seeing none, we'll move to item 7, which is unfinished business. Item 7.1, the property at 410 5th Street South. This has been the Toman property. We have some items in place and a mechanism in place moving forward to try to address the issues of the neighborhood with respect to this and to ensure they come in compliance in what they need to do in order to comply with our property preservation and maintenance code. Are there any updates with respect to that? And I would like to refer to our city attorney, Brian Lindsay, for any additional information. Brian?
Thank you, Mayor. Following the last meeting, there was a resolution and order approved. The directive was to get that served straight away, and that service has been accomplished. We've served both the property owner, the registered taxpayer, the lien holder on the property, as well as prepared it and had it published. So we are in compliance with the notice requirements, and we're on schedule.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the council's part? Councilor Beyondich.
Just for the record, Brian, could you please tell us the date that that was served?
Everything went out for service the day following, the day after the last meeting.
After the last council or committee of the whole? It was
April 13th?
April 13, it went out, so it's 120 days from that date.
Correct. We have had, one of the attempted services has been returned to us as undeliverable, but that will be captured by the publication. So there's no concern or additional delay there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Beyondich. Any other councilor questions or comments? I see Mr. and Mrs. Kings are in the audience. Any other questions, comments, or any additional information at this time with respect to this issue? Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for coming in again, once again to the meeting and keeping your thumb on the pulse of what's going on here. We have to moving forward, so that's good. Okay, thank you. We'll move to item number 7.2, the clinic lease. Is there any additional information coming forth? I know that there was a meeting that was tentatively scheduled for April 20th to meet with Ascension staff, corporate, with respect to this. That meeting was canceled. We couldn't get everybody here. And I'm understanding there's another meeting maybe going to be scheduled in the future. First, I would refer to our city administrator for some additional information, then over to Councilor Paulson. Britt?
Yes, there is still working on getting a meeting scheduled with Essentia leadership. We have given Sam Stone the information that the council had, the dates, the 2025 date is looming. We did remind him of that, and that there's a 5-year gap between that and the bond. So we did provide that to him. And like I said, we're still working on dates, getting the leadership to sit down with us to talk about their intent.
Thank you. Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Britt, for forwarding the correspondence from the Sam Stone at the hospital. I just want to make it, make it known that I would recommend that the entire city council meet and not just a handful or 1 or 2 councilors as was suggested. And I do think we need to get that date on the books, and I don't know, Brian, if that's something you want to assist us with maybe reaching out to, I don't know if it would be Mr. Modich again, but maybe to get the ball rolling so that we're not going to be in a situation like we were prior. So and it would just be my recommendation that we all be in attendance. Thank you. And it'd be a public meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Paulson. Okay, anything else on the clinic lease? Okay, thank you. We'll move to item 7.3, under unfinished business, the rental code ordinance. I know that it had been moving through the planning and zoning department, and I would like to refer for an update maybe of John Sullivan. John, would you have an update on how we're proceeding with our rental code ordinance?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we did have at the last Planning Commission meeting, we had a long discussion with the Planning Commission, some staff, and we brought in representatives from the Arrowhead Agency, AEOA, and we talked about our proposed ordinance. They gave us a lot of insight. We have public hearings coming up that they're going to have for the public and for landlords and for tenants, a series of 3 public meetings at the Iron Trail Motors Event Center. We've put that tentative schedule together, and City Administrator Britt has put together a plan for us moving forward, and we've secured those dates. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be over May and June. And we're going to put that on the website and the Facebook, and we'll announce it here and pass a resolution for that, hopefully, and move forward. So things are on task. We set that, we put a timetable together back in February, and we're still on schedule. So.
Thank you, John, very much. Just a quick note, just for the, I did get a few calls from the public last week about the rental code ordinance and where we're at, and indicated we are moving forward. We'll have something available. We want to make sure that's going to pass the litmus test and the law with respect to that, and we're doing our due diligence in that regard. But it does not negate the responsibility of the city with respect to the 2017 ordinance that was passed and took effect on January 1st, 2017, the Property Preservation and Maintenance Code, and you'll see around the community where some buildings have been vacated as a result of not being in compliance with our Property Maintenance Code, and you see the boarded up apartment complex on 3rd Avenue. A lot of times they refer to that the old Jucola apartments for those of you who have been here, living here many, many years. And so that has been vacated. That's part of the Property Preservation Maintenance Court action that was taken by our code official in the departments, which included the combination and a partnership with police, fire, our code officials, and some of the services that are provided throughout the county. So these residents were moved out and they were placed in other areas. So the Property Preservation and Maintenance Code does work. So this rental code is going to be in addition to that, and there'll be some additional requirements on the part of the landlords, whether they're absentee or not, with respect to this. And so I think it's a very comprehensive rental code ordinance. John and his staff has been working diligently along with planning and zoning, which is a proper way in which to do this, and we'll have something coming forward in the future. So thanks, John, for you and your staff and all the hard work you're doing on this particular issue. So we hope to have something available for the public soon. Councilor Johnson.
I was going to move the resolution in the packet calling for the public hearings on May 26, 2022, June 23rd, 2022, and June 30th, 2022.
Okay, thank you. That was my next item on the agenda. Thanks for moving this forward. Councilor Johnson moves to set these public hearing dates. Is there support?
I'll support, Mayor.
Support by Councilor Bearable. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say thank you to all city staff who've really worked really hard on this, and I think also our past fire marshal worked a lot on this. So I know this has been a couple years in the making, maybe 3 or 4 years in the making. So I just wanted to reach out and say thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilor Paulson. So it has been moved and supported with respect to the resolution setting the public hearing dates. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Move to item 8, discussion items. Item 8.1 is adopt a resolution to hire recreation assistants.
I'll move.
Councilor Paulson moves to approve the hiring of recreational assistants for the Iron Trail Motors Event Center. Is there support? Support by Councilor Barnzelli. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Beyondich.
How many do we have, how many spots are there left to fill?
These 2 are filling 2 that just left. So we're back down to under 8.
And how many are we looking to
Up to
have?
20 FTE equivalents, so we're not close to it whatsoever.
So we have 8 if we hire these 2?
8 part-time,
8 part-time, and
Very
we
part-
can
and some-
hire up to,
20 full-time equivalents. So it depends how many hours a week they can work. We have one employee that can work 8 hours a week, so she's a very small FTE. And then we have some employees that work 20 hours a week, so they're 0.5, so go up to 20 FTEs.
are these the one, do they have only a certain amount of hours they can work in a week?
Yes, 20.
Okay.
Thank you, Counselor Beyondich. So it has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 8.2, approve the city loon to enter the Land of the Loon Parade on, I don't think it's the city staff or for the city of Virginia to enter into the Land of the Loon Parade June 10th. I don't know if the loon wants to really show up there, he'd be floating around on the lake there. So it's approve the city of Virginia to enter into the Land of the Loon Parade on June 10th, 2022.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support? Support by Counselor Freely. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 8.3, adopt a resolution for Feel the Boot campaign, something the fire department does every year to raise money for, I think it's muscular dystrophy. And so they'll be out there with the boot and asking for some donations from the general public to donate to this worthy cause. Looking for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Freely. Is there support? Support by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion?
Are there dates on that?
They'll set the times based on traffic and those kind of things and staff. Did you have some additional information?
Yes, it's May 13th to 14th.
May
from 3 to
13th
6.
and May 14th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.4 is approved to block off Fifth Avenue between Second Street and Fourth Street on May 13th, 2022, from 12:15 to 1:15 for a school video filming.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Beyondich and supported by
I'll support.
Counselor Baraboo. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 8.5 is approve the request from the Lyric Theater Center to use the Pocket Park on Chestnut Street next to Cane Lakes on May 5th, 2022, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., and to use the green space under the Marty mural on June 22nd, 2022, from 6 to 9 p.m.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Paulson, supported by Counselor Barnzelli. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Freely.
Just what activity is going to be going on at that time?
Flyer in your packet, if there's going to be live music.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't know they had to get permission to use the pocket park, but so be it that they do, so that's good. Okay, it's been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 8.6 is adopt a resolution to apply for and accept funds from the DIRR Community Infrastructure Grant for Phase 2 of the Silver Lake Trail Project.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
I'll support, Mayor.
Support by Counselor Baraboo. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 8.7 is adopt a resolution to apply for and accept funds from the DIRR Community Infrastructure Grant for Phase 1, Stage 2 of the 2021 Street and Infrastructure Improvement Project.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson, supported by
I'll support, Mayor.
Counselor Baraboo. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 8.8, approve submitting a letter of request for funding to the Iron Range Resources and Rehabilitation Board for the Regional Public Safety and Training Center.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 9, committee reports. Item 9.1, the Committee of the Whole that was held on April 19th, 2022. Return this portion of our City Council meeting over to our City Administrator, Britt C. Bendis. Britt?
Thank you. On Tuesday, April 19th, at the Committee of the Whole meeting, we had Matt Reed from SCH present to discuss the professional services agreement for the 2021-2023 street project Phase 2, which starts in 2023, the feasibility study for that program. It was moved and supported to approve the agreement for the professional services with SCH for the 2023 Street and Infrastructure Improvement Project Phase 2 in the amount of $19,000.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson, supported by?
I'll support, Mayor. Unless, Carl, go ahead, Carl.
Support by Counselor Barnzelli. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Matt Reed from SCH and Jim Rosfit from the Public Works Department was present to discuss a problem we're having with some unknown substances being placed into our sanitary sewer on the south side of town. It was moved and supported to approve directing the city attorney to write a formal communication to Wayne Transport, notifying them to cease and desist immediately dispensing of unknown materials into the sanitary sewer drains that are harming a wastewater treatment plant, and if need be, get a court order for injunction for relief from this practice.
Thank you.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Real quickly, a few years back, we had given permission for Wayne Transport to dump some of their waste solids in their barn building in the industrial park. And we did have some issues before with respect to that was traced back to them, and there was some action that was taken on the part of Wayne Transport to remediate that. And once it satisfied the wastewater treatment plant and our former Public Works Director, Ed Alto, they were all allowed to continue. Now this, I think, is the situation is it's come back, and so we're looking at to ensure that wastewater treatment runs smoothly. And I think maybe Councilor Baraboo might have some additional information with respect to that. Councilor Baraboo.
No, I don't at this point. Mayor, you've covered most of it, other than the stuff, whatever they're dumping in there is not doing good for our pumps and stuff in the wastewater treatment plant, so we need to make sure that we figure out what's going on and what the substance is, and so the system to cease order is perfectly proper.
Okay, thank you. It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. A request was received by the Land and Loan Committee to enter into a use agreement for the City of Virginia for exclusive use of Alcott Park for their festival starting on Thursday, June 16th and concluding at 6 p.m. on Sunday, June 19th. It was moved and supported to approve that agreement and the festival to be held Thursday, June 16th through the 19th.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Johnson, support. Support by Councilor Barnzelli. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Can we go back to 8.2, is approve the city to enter into the Land and Loan Parade on June 10th? Wouldn't that be on June 16th? Or is that different? The Alcott Park, there is June 16th, that's what, Friday, Saturday, Thursday? That should be June 18th, not June 10th? Okay, so could we make a note and make a correction? I think the motion under item 8.2 was to approve it for June 10th. Can we just make that correction to June 18th? Okay, thank you. And so, did we vote on that one? This one, this current one? It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
It was moved and supported to approve the parade permit for the Land and Loan Committee for Saturday, June 18th, 2022.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Freely, supported by Councilor Johnson, was it? Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to accept the proposal from Brown Intertech Corporation for pre-demolition hazardous building material inspection in the amount of $72,340.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support? Support by Counselor Barnzelli. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Johnson.
And just to point out, they're going to do the testing to see what we need to do to remediate. This is the first step in the process. This is not the total bill for the remediation of the hazardous materials.
Thank you. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the request from Revive Virginia to hold a food truck festival on September 17th, 2022, downtown Virginia.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Paulson, supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve ordering and replacing the streetlights on Chestnut and Fifth Avenue in the amount of $55,500.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson, supported by Counselor Bearable. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Bearable.
Just one thing for any of the residents out there, when they see these light fixtures being replaced, you're going to see a differential of color because they're moving from incandescent light bulbs to LED lights. So they're going to be whiter now than they were in the past and not as yellow. So just be aware this will happen as we replace things in the 5 globe and the other globe lights.
Yeah, thank you, Counselor Bearable. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the reinstatement of the library intern position for the summer of 2022.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson and supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
It was moved and supported to approve the proposed accounting 3 job description and to allow posting for the position.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Freelieb. Support
I'll support, Mayor.
by Counselor Bearable. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Beyondich.
I know we had talked about this at a previous meeting. For this job description, did we make all 3 of those identical so they could all work together and share job duties?
They'll have a primary duty and a secondary duty, and they intertwine.
So all 3 positions have the same job description now?
They have different job descriptions, but they all intertwine. So
So
one's job description is primary, the next one has that on secondary, but their secondary is this one's primary.
Okay, but they all 3
Can do the
can
same
do
thing.
all the jobs as needed?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Beyondich. Has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
There was a motion to table the proposed modification of the job description for the lead recreation assistant and the recommended hourly wage increase.
Okay.
It was moved and supported to purchase the 108 8th Street South property in the public safety development area.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Johnson, and is there support?
I'll support, Mayor.
Support by Counselor Bearable. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve offering the single role paramedic position to Ms. Amanda Menuet.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support? Support by Counselor Barnzelli. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
We had a great discussion with Police Chief Nicole Mattson regarding the difficulty in getting squad cars due to supply chain shortage. After a discussion, it was moved and supported to authorize the purchase of 2 2022 Ford Utility Police Interceptors from Guardian Fleet Safety in Clear Lake, Minnesota.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
I will support, Mayor.
Support by Counselor Bearable. Is this part of the state bid?
I do not believe so, no.
Okay. And
The other quote we had that we did accept was canceled.
yep, we're fortunate to be able to find these. So it has been moved and supported. Further discussion, Counselor Beyondich.
Thank you, and I just wanted to make sure that this was within the budget. She felt she had money in her budget to pay for these.
And it'll likely be this part of their vehicle replacement schedule, rotating out the old and back in with the new data issues there. So thank you. Thank you, Counselor Beyondich. So it has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
No further items from that meeting.
Thank you, Britt, very much. That concludes the committee reports. The committee of the whole report was held on April 19th, 2022. Move to item 10 on the agenda, which are the commission liaison reports. Does any commission, any city councilor have a commission liaison report that they would like to give today? Counselor, okay. Counselor Bearable.
Sorry. Thank you. Yes, yesterday at 3:30 PM, the Public Utilities Commission met, and I'm liaison to the Public Utilities Commission. It was a very short meeting last night. Basically, they paid their bills. They didn't approve a waiver of liability coverage, which means basically what happens, they use the state limitations on how much that anybody can sue the utilities for, so they can't go above and beyond what the state limitations are. So they approved that at the meeting. They had no injury report for the month at all. They're working and having meetings ongoing with Mesabi Community College with the steam conversion. I don't have any real updates, but I think they'll be sending stuff, Britt, to you on that, so you can distribute whatever you need on that. They also authorized the 3rd Street North Water Loop, the one that by the old Natural Harvest food area there, so they've approved that to go forward. And they have the funds for this because they pushed back one of their water areas because they didn't have an issue with it right now, so they pushed it back a year. They talked about some of their commission communications, and they're going to be working on maybe looking at different ways to do their communications from the utilities. So we'll keep you updated on there. They may be going computer, they may not. Right now, they do all paper, so they're looking at moving up their stuff within the utilities for their commissioners. They declined a bid for the first, that's why I was talking about the First Street water main project that was declined the bid on that. They're operating the coal boiler right now from between 37,000 and 47,000 BTUs per hour. It's the coal-fired boiler right now. They need to use the rest of their contract coal up before the season, otherwise there's some penalties involved. They have on Wednesday, 4/27, tomorrow, they have the final inspection of that new boiler, the small one that they've put in. It's up for final inspection, so it'll be ready to go this summer once the coal and stuff runs out. They've had 16 water breaks in the city this year, and this is typical. This is not a record, it's not a low, it's right in the mid where they usually have somewhere between 12 and 15, 16, somewhere in there. So, and that concludes the report, and they're all fixed right now, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Bearboy. I do have a question for you. I know it was a couple of months back, or when you were gave a report, you made a request that there are some people that are, some businesses and one fraternal organization that is on STEAM, is in the STEAM, downtown STEAM district. And the one is so old and antiquated, they can't get parts anymore, can't fix it, and they're in the process of a significant economic upgrades and B3 compliance and all that kind of stuff to do some energy updates and audits, and in the time they're putting new roof and things of that, but they want to convert from natural gas or from steam to natural gas. And they did get some information from the Department of Public Utilities that they're not eligible for the 0% financing for that 10-year period, or not eligible for the 75% rebate of the steam usage for the previous year. So I did tell both of that fraternal organization, that business, to recontact the Department of Public Utilities to Mr. Greg French, the general manager, and see if something can be done with respect to that. So I understand there's three areas. One is that a voluntary conversion from steam to gas when there's no issue within this. And then there's one where they're eligible for that, which in this particular case are not, or when the steam system is so old and antiquated it can't be repaired. In order to move forward with their economic development projects and their improvements, they need to convert from steam to gas, and I think it just would be just makes sense if the Department of Public Utilities would reconsider, and this is my understanding, so hopefully that's the case, and allow these people under those circumstances to apply for the 0% loan for the 10-year period, or for ensuring that they can get the 75% rebate on the previous year. So I did refer them there. They're happy about that. They are going to go back to the Department of Public Utilities and make that request. But I say this publicly because, I had told these two businesses I would address it at the council meeting, and then have you also as the liaison for the Department of Public Utilities relay that back to the management at the DPU.
Okay, I'll be more than happy to do that, Mayor. The two eligibility areas that you're talking about where they've gone back to and allowed them to tack on to the zero loans are still within the areas that they took out all the steam and stuff, but people didn't apply. They're allowing them at the end of all the rest of the construction for those people to reapply for the zero. But the downtown core area in that area was not part of that, but I will bring it back and see if we can get them to retake a look at that.
Yeah, I think, thank you, Councilor Burbo. I think it only makes sense, because if somebody's going to do this remodeling and they can't fix their steam system, and they've had contractors over there saying, it's not reparable, you're going to have to replace it before the winter season comes this next year. And if in order for them to do their construction project, certainly they have to do their steam issues. So the conversion to gas, and they are in that downtown core district. That's why I've asked them to reconnect with Mr. French, and then for you to bring that up as the liaison.
I will. I know they've gone above and beyond in some instances that 10-year payback on the zero loans, because they've had some conversions that have been really, really, really expensive. And they allowed them to go up another half, like to 15 years. I know that's been a process. So they've been working with the residents when unusual circumstances. So we'll take it back and make sure that it's addressed at the utilities.
Thank you. And these two are, one's a business, one's a fraternal, and they're connected in one building. So for them to have that authorization to do it all at one time would just make sense. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Any other commission liaison reports?
It's relative to Charlie's.
Oh, yeah, Councilor Johnson.
Go ahead, Steve.
Councilor Johnson.
I think we've made this request, but I would like to move to formally request a written plan for the core district and what the utilities' long-term goals are for that, sent to us specifically. I feel like we keep getting told that things might change. They're a business. There's got to be a 10, 15, 20-year plan. They're a public entity. It's public record. I would like to move that the council request a copy of that sent to us.
And I think they do have that plan available already, Councilor Johnson. So Councilor Johnson makes a motion on the floor to direct staff to make a request to the Department of Public Utilities, asking them for their 5-year plan or their plan moving forward with the request of what their projects are moving. And that includes all the projects, right? Steam and conversion, is that correct?
It's really about steam.
Okay.
Because there are so many entities in the core district that are in that exact same spot, and so many downtown businesses that are looking at, what do I invest in? Do I invest in steam and And if they're going to invest in steam and it's going away, we need to know that. I know Marquette is looking at, I got a tour of there 2 years ago and how much of a challenge a lot of stuff in that building is, but I feel like I haven't gotten a clear, this is our timeline for the next 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, there's got to be a long-term plan somewhere, so I'd like to see that. The most recent version, I guess I would add that to my motion, the most recent version of that plan.
Okay, thank you. Is there support for Councillor Johnson's motion? Okay, support by Councillor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Move to item 11, department head reports. Britt, any other report to give?
No, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what Charlie said, actually, when he mentioned the utilities are moving. They had planned to do First Street North this year because the bids came in so high and the lack of available supplies. They're moving their project this year to Third Street North, so requiring no funding from the city whatsoever on that project. There was a directive for us to go back and figure out who's going to pay for what. And because the utilities had budgeted this money anyway, they're just going to pay for the entire project.
Very good, thank you. That's good news. Brian, anything from our city attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. No additional report.
Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. Anything from you, Pam? Want a reminder?
Yes, just a reminder for the the Board of Appeals meeting on May 5th at 9 a.m.
Thank you. And what we would do, we would encourage those who want to address your taxable property for 2023 to get a letter to our city clerk, Pam, and Pam will record the information and forward it to county, and they would just need your name and your parcel ID number, and they'll get you on the list for if you'd like to come in and ask questions, contest, whatever. And this is the time what you do there for 2023. So thank you, everybody, for that. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and you want to get on the list, please contact Pam, and she'll get you on there.
I just have one question. Is it going to be downstairs, up here? Where's it going to be, so we can get that notice out? Is it going to be we normally have had it in,
right here.
the last year we did, but before that, we used to have it downstairs. So it's going to be in the council chambers, okay.
In the council chambers, Councilor Bearable, okay. Yep, thank you. Councilor Beyondich.
Thank you. I did have a liaison report for the library. Even though I was not able to attend the meeting, I had 3 meetings that night, and I had to pick and choose. But the library is having their book sale this week, starting on Wednesday from 10 to 5, Thursday 10 to 6, Friday 10 to 5, and Saturday 10 to 3 at the Iron Trail Motors Event Center.
Jody?
We have 90-plus tables of books, DVDs, if you're still doing VHS, vinyl, some computer monitors. What else was, of course, lots and lots and lots and lots of books beyond belief. So please come check it out. We filled up one of the arenas, and it has taken us 5 days to get this ready. It is set up by author, for mystery and fiction and romance. If you're a nonfiction reader, there are multiple biography tables along with tables that have a lot of war history this year. So pretty much anything that you can think of that you would probably want. It's $1 for a hardcover, 25 cents for a paperback. If you buy a library, Friends of the Library bag, you can fill it up as much as you want for 15 bucks.
Thank you, Jody. A question for you, if I may. I just came into the possession of a large quantity of vinyl records. Would that be appropriate? Would you still accept those?
We have no room.
Okay.
We have no room.
I'll find an alternative.
Talk to me afterwards. We know that there might be some places that you might be able to.
I will do so.
And also, I know some other people that are collecting that are coming to the sales, so they may have some other contacts.
Very good. I'll just leave my name and number, and if somebody wants to come in and take a look, they're welcome to have them. So thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jody. Please continue. Anything else, Councilor Beyondich?
I just wanted to thank Jody, the staff, and all the volunteers. I know they have put in many hours setting this up. So thank you for doing that.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's go back to the department head reports once again and see, Sherry, do you have anything that you'd like to report? John, anything that you'd like to address tonight?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
As promised, I went to the Highway 53 open house at St. Louis County on April 21st, and it was very well attended. I think there might have been 40-some people there in the audience. Went for, I think, a good hour and a half. I do have the PowerPoint presentation for that, so I just condensed it because it was really big. And it took a lot of memory, so I just had that condensed, so I can send that out to you. And I'll have some copies available here for the public as well. Originally, if you recall, MnDOT was kind of looking along with the county at having the 3 intersections that they're going to redo in 2025 between Morgan Road, Patrick Avenue, and Progress Park. Those are the 3 interchanges that they want to redo. And at one time, they were all going to be roundabouts. But now at this point, Progress Parkway is going to be the main roundabout, the main entrance into the school. And the other ones are going to be modified. They will not be roundabouts. So, and that was based on stacking and timing and traffic and all these things. But you'll get to see the report. But they're really moving along, and they're on schedule. And people are engaged, and the businesses and the property owners and everybody's seems very interested in that. So it's all revolving around the new school and the new traffic counts that'll be there. And we've also dealt with this at the Virginia Evelyn Economic Development Authority, so I was kind of there representing them as their new executive director because they need roadways and additional help from Vita to make that work. And Julianne's smiling over there because she's been instrumental in helping us with that in the meetings, as has Maya. So it's been, it's getting there, and it's been interesting. It's been an interesting planning process all the way around. Lastly, you can tell it's spring on the calendar, maybe not outside, but things are really getting busy here at City Hall with staff and numerous projects that we're working on. In addition to the rental ordinance, the Planning Commission is entering its busy season. So we've got a full slate of variances and requests at our meeting coming up on Monday, May 2nd. And the hotel project is kicking into full gear next to the Iron Trail Motors Event Center. Staff has been very busy working on that because there's a myriad of financial partners and it's a complex deal. And so I'll be coming back to the Economic Development Authority as well as the City Council to get updated TIF agreements, development agreements put together. But I have been spending a lot of time with the developer and their lenders, and I've got a lot of stuff coming up for approval. So with that, and then of course the street projects and the lift station project and the downtown redevelopment projects we have going on. So it's a good time. We're busy, and hopefully I'll be getting some help soon, and I'm looking forward to that as well. So thank you.
Thank you, John, very much. Thanks for hanging in there until we get you some assistance there. So there's a lot of projects on the horizon here. And so, okay, any other department head reports? Brian Silver. Brian Silver, Park and Rec Director. Good evening, Brian.
Good evening. Pam will be excited to know I had to write everything down in a notebook so I could remember everything to tell you tonight. First thing I want to let you know, John so eloquently pointed out, it may not feel like spring outside, but the golf course will be opening next week. May 6th is our target date to open the golf course. That means we will be one of the first golf courses in northern Minnesota to open. And we are pushing so hard because there are 2 private events on the 4th and the 5th that cannot find any place to go because nobody can get their golf course open, and our staff is so good, they are going to get that done so that we can host 2 private events at our golf course before it opens to the public. Other things that I wanted to let you know that are going on, Jody already let you know that the Friends of the Library have taken over the main arena, and literally they have taken over the main arena. I don't think I have ever seen so many books in one place outside of a library before. So make sure you come down to the Toyota Arena at the Iron Trail Motors Event Center and purchase some books. Also, please don't ask me if you can rent ice this week because the ice in the Chevrolet Arena is not ready, but it will be opening this coming Sunday, May 1st. We are scheduled for our first ice bumper car party on Sunday, May 1st. Then we go into our rentals and our figure skating program. Our summer figure skating program doesn't start until June, but in the month of May, we are doing a May-only figure skating program. It is only for low and high advanced. The Learn to Skate program will begin over the summer like it normally does. We also have a lot of ice rentals going on in the facility from youth hockey teams that are using the facility. We will be having bump and skate every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to noon and every Sunday evening from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Also, we are introducing 40-plus no-check hockey on Wednesday mornings from 11 to 1 and open no-check hockey on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 8 o'clock. Both of those have a $5 charge. All the time that that's going on, there's that other side of the building, which is full of events. This week, we have hosted 3 different corporations doing corporate trainings. On top of our city staff will be doing training there tomorrow. Next week, we also have several more corporate trainings. And there's a little wedding going on this weekend at the event center, so something always is happening there. My last thing, I'll close my notebook for you, Pam, so I'm done with that. But my last thing that I have is today I had the privilege of attending the St. Louis County Council meeting. The health department was there publicly recognizing the local groups and organizations that worked with them throughout the pandemic, and they presented the City of Virginia, and I was able to accept it, this nice plaque and certificate thanking us for the work that we did with the county health department throughout the COVID pandemic of providing places for testing and vaccination sites. So it is my honor to present that plaque to the City Council this evening.
Well, thank you very much, Brian. And what does the plaque say?
Plaque says, with grateful appreciation to the City of Virginia, your partnership with St. Louis County Public Health during the COVID-19 pandemic helped save lives. Together, we provided testing and administered vaccines, protecting people, preventing illness, and promoting healthier communities. And it even comes with a Moderna COVID-19 vaccine bottle.
Well, thank you very much, Brian. I hope it's empty. Very good. Thank you. Thanks very much, Brian. Okay. Any other department head reports? Okay, we did have one council report already. Got Councilor Beyondich. Are there any other council reports to give today? Councilor Baraboo.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. Being chairman of Street and Alley, I just want to remind people that the bi-weekly or the 2-week parking starts May 1st in Virginia, so you can be on the odd side starting the 1st to the 16th, then the even side from the 16th to the end of the month. That starts May 1st. So just a reminder so you don't get tickets all over the place. We did have an event that RAM sponsored on Thursday night, the 21st, and you'll be seeing some reports coming out. It was for the EMT issues that are happening here in all across the 7 counties in northern Minnesota. And it was done at Clinton Town Hall. There were probably 125 to 130 people there at this meeting. They had a panel of 5 individuals from across the spectrum. And our director, Rita Rukavina of RAMS, and RAMS hosted that. And there'll be follow-up meetings because there's such a shortage of EMTs and people that are first responders, et cetera, all across the Iron Range and stuff, and the pounding that these individuals are taking with ambulance runs, everything. So they're gonna be working on trying to figure out how they can streamline and do more things and more cooperation. So just want to let you know that there'll be things coming in your emails from RAMS.
Thank you, Councilor Bearable. Councilor Paulson?
Thank you, Mayor. And this is more of a, just kind of going back and doing some housekeeping after we had tabled the discussion on the lead rec assistant job descriptions. I'd like to put that on the next committee of the whole, to have that as a discussion along with the event program services managers job description and the new event coordinator job description, so that we can have a robust discussion about the job duties and potentially kind of redrafting the job description for lead rec assistant. And Brian, after you gave such a wonderful report, there's a lot going on there, and I think it's really important we get just get the details down. So I'd like to, I don't know, I guess I'll make that as a motion to put those items on the agenda for the committee of the whole. And as well as I'd like to talk about the purchasing policy and the credit card policy at that time with regarding products and purchases at the MEC. If I could do that.
Okay, thank you.
So two motions, okay, and then maybe that as a secondary motion.
Gets the first motion here.
The first motion would be to add to the agenda, to the committee of the whole agenda, to discuss the job description for the lead rec assistant, along with having the event program services manager job description and the event coordinator job description in the packet, so we can kind of balance those out and just have a discussion on that. And then as well as the purchasing policy and the credit card, oh, sorry, that's my first motion.
That's okay. The first motion with respect to the job descriptions, about motion by Councilor Paulson, is there support for that? Support by Councilor Freely. Is there any further discussion for that motion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. You're up, motion number 2.
And then the second motion, Pam, would be to also bring forward the purchasing policy and the credit card policy, and mainly as it relates to the Iron Trail Motors Event Center purchasing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Councilor Paulson, there's a support for that. Support by Councilor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, any other reports? Okay, I have just a couple items, if I may, please. First is tax on to that RAMS report. I know that our fire chief and emergency management director was part of that panel discussion. And if you see in your packet, and it's open for the general public to read, it's the 2021 annual report that was put out by the fire department. It's not just fire, it's ambulance, EMS, ALS, BLS services that we provide to the community. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't seen a copy or you'd like to take a look at a copy, or just please give our city clerk a call, Pamela Bean, at 749-3579. 749-3579. Maybe we can get some. Yeah, we all have one, but I'm speaking, I think, for some extras for the general public to come in if they want to take a read. So thank you very much. Item number 2 is I want to shout out and thank Senator Amy Klobuchar. Last week she was here up in the Iron Range, met with some of the elected officials and community members with respect to some of the earmarked projects that are going on. They're being requested that she's fighting hard for with the other 2 senators, Senator Stauber, Representative Stauber and Senator Smith, about getting those things for us. I wanted to meet with her, but I was in San Diego. I extended a couple more days there, but I did have a chance to speak to her on the phone earlier, and her state representative, and thanking her for moving these projects forward for us, because it's very important that in northern Minnesota, sometimes we're forgotten, and she says, you're not going to be forgotten. So thank you to Senator Klobuchar for that, and also for Senator Smith, who's also tacked onto that, and Representative Stauber. So thank you. And And then the last item is tomorrow morning at 8:30. I'm leaving tonight. I will be giving testimony at the Senate Tax Committee with respect to our exemption request for our bond exemption for the public safety building, and that's scheduled for 8:30 a.m. And Senator Tom Bach is the sponsor on our behalf. And so just let the public know we'll be doing that, and that should be a testimony that similar to that was given at the House of Representatives last month. So that's all I have for today. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to bring up before we adjourn for the evening? Councilor Beyondich? Yes.
I would just, is there an update, Mr. Lindsay, on the lease agreement? Is there an update on the lease agreement for the restaurant?
The additions that the changes that the council had indicated have been added to the document. Those have been passed along to the proprietors, the Northern Divide. And I think the last piece is Mr. Cole is assisting me with putting together a new Exhibit A redefining the leased space. And so that the essential terms have been extended to the Northern Divide for their consideration, and we have not received back a definitive answer.
Has the date changed, the signing date? When it expires?
Correct. The new proposal that was put forward bumped the start-end dates to the fall. So initially, there would be an 18-month period followed by 2 one-year periods. So then,
Signed.
correct. It could be the way the terms were proposed. It would have, if it were accepted, been commenced May 1st. But then there would be the initial term would be from May 1st until September 31st of 2023. And then from then on, all start-end dates would be in the fall. So we did cover that 6-month gap period.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Beyondich. So no other items to come before the council meeting tonight. Thank you, everybody, for your hard work, particularly our staff, John Sullivan and Brian Sober and city administrator. We're all, and Pam, everybody's working hard. Sherry, we got a lot of things going on. The audit's almost done, hopefully. And so a lot of things on the plate for the spring. Wish everybody a very safe and evening in the week and ahead. And we will adjourn this meeting to the next city council meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, May 10th, 2022, right here at 5:30 p.m. in the council chambers. Be well, everybody. We stand adjourned. Thank you.